MP school cost me a lot more than tuition. It cost me sleep, it cost me income, and for about 2 years, it cost me any kind of life outside of work and school. I was a nurse for 16 years before I applied. I've worked in primary care, and now I currently work in urgent care. I did MP school while working, so I know exactly what it takes and exactly what nobody tells you going in. This is that video, the real cost, the ones on paper and the ones that aren't. And in the end, I'll answer the question straight. Knowing everything I know now, would I do it again? One thing before we start, this is my experience. Programs and costs vary a lot, so treat this as a better list of questions to ask, not a substitute for doing your own numbers. All right, the money. Here's the thing about the tuition number they quote you. It's real, but it's the smallest true number they could print. My program ran about $43,000 over 2 years. And if that were the whole story, the math would be easy. It's not the whole story, because during clinicals, I had to cut my work hours. And when a working nurse cuts hours, it's not an inconvenience, it's a pay cut. Every paycheck for months. At the exact moment, you're also paying tuition. The brochure never mentions the money that stops coming in. That's the number that actually hurt. So before you apply, do the math they won't do for you. Tuition plus books plus fees plus the certification exam in the end, and subtract the income you'll lose during clinicals. That's the real cost. And if you've got a spouse and kids, do that math out loud together before you apply, not after you're accepted. Second thing, the writing. This one ambushed me. I expected pharmacology to be hard. I expected patho to be hard. What I did not expect was what MP school is. Functionally, it's a writing program with a stethoscope. Discussion post, papers, APA formatting on everything. And here's the embarrassing part. Early on, I lost points not because I got the medicine wrong, but because the citation was formatted wrong. Right answer, but the wrong margins. 2 tools fixed that for me. Grammarly caught the mistakes my brain stopped seeing at 11 o'clock at night, and Perla handled the AP formatting. References, layout, all of it. So I stopped bleeding points on the things that had nothing to do with being a good clinician. Links are posted below. And listen, I've been a nurse for 16 years when I went back. 16 years since I've written an academic paper. And if that's you, hear me. The writing is not a small part. Budget real time for it. Third, the preceptor hunt. Let me tell you exactly how this went for me, because no brochure ever will. Most MP programs will not place you in clinicals. They hand you a requirement. For my program, it was 640 hours, and finding a licensed provider to supervise you is your problem. For me, pediatrics was the wall. The very first clinic I called, the person who answered the phone flat out said, "We don't take students." They didn't offer to speak to the office manager. They didn't take my name. They just said no. So I called another clinic and another. I called 53 clinics. 53. A few said yes, but they were 200 miles away, which means a hotel every single week just to finish school. That's where things stood when my mother, of all people, got on Facebook and asked if anyone knew a pediatrician who could take her son for clinicals. Now, here's the wild part. The person who answered that response was a girl I took to my senior prom 20 years earlier. She was good friends with a coworker, the daughter of a pediatrician. Guess where he worked? The first clinic I called. The one where the front desk told me no before I even finished my sentence. Through that connection, I got my pediatric clinicals at the exact place that had already turned me down. So 2 lessons, and I mean both of them. The person answering the phone is not the decision maker, and always ask for help, out loud, publicly, even if it feels embarrassing. You have no idea which 20-year-old connection is sitting out there waiting to matter. Quick pause. If you're in NP school right now, or you're an RN who's circling the decision for a year or two, tell me where you are in the comments. I read all of them, and they decide what I make next. If you're stuck on finding a preceptor, say that. You're very much not the only one. Now, fourth, what it actually costs me the day to day. I want to be careful here because I hear a lot of people dress this up. I was single during NP school, no spouse, no kids. On paper, I had the easy version, and it still took everything. My free time was writing papers. My weekends were sitting in an office alone, writing. No going out, no hobbies. For about 2 years, my life was work, school, and a desk. And here's why I'm telling you that. Most of you watching aren't single. You've got a spouse, you've got kids, a mortgage. And everything I just described has to happen on top of all of that. I had nothing competing for those hours, and the program still ate all of them. So if you're doing this with a family, don't plan for the program to fit around your life. Plan for your family to feel it, decide together if it's worth it, and put an end date on it. It's temporary pain for permanent gain, but the people around you need to know that going in, not find out as it happens. Now, fifth, this is the part that made it all worth it. The hardest thing in NP school isn't a class. It's rewiring your brain from nurse to provider. As an RN, you execute the plan. You're good at it. You catch things, you flag problems, you keep people alive. But someone else owns the decision. The day you become the provider, that ownership lands on you. You're not carrying out the orders anymore. You're the one writing. And you better understand exactly why, because there's nobody standing behind you to catch it. Here's what nobody warned me about. There's a stretch in the middle where you feel worse at your job than you felt in years. I'd been a confident, experienced nurse for 16 years, and suddenly I was a beginner again, second-guessing decisions all day. That feeling is normal, and it's temporary. And it's actually the degree working, because that discomfort is the ownership taking hold. Nobody told me that, so I'm telling you. So, would I do it again? Yes, and I'd do 3 things differently. I start the preceptor search about 6 months earlier, before the program ever told me to. I'd ask for help publicly from day one instead of grinding through 53 phone calls alone. Because the ask that solved it took my mother 5 minutes on Facebook, and I'd protect one real day off a week instead of letting the papers take every weekend. Because running on empty for 2 years cost me more focus than that one day ever would have. The degree changed my career and changed what's possible for my family now. That part I'd buy again at full price. Just would have gone in it with eyes open instead of finding out the price as I paid for it. That's what this video is for. So you can go in with your eyes wide open. If this helped you, let me know by gently tapping that like button and subscribe, because I'm making these exactly for the one person, the working nurse trying to figure out if this is survivable. It is. Next up, I'm covering how to actually find a preceptor, the full 53 call playbook, because that's the single hardest logistical piece of this whole story. I'll see you there.